you know.
Listen out.
Hi, I'm Kurt Olson. Listen to you every day, Phil.
I appreciate it, Kurt. What do you got for me?
Union strikes on the north side again.
Oh, yeah. Old 57th Miners. North Park? I bet you're in Lofsky's crew, right?
Yeah, the old man's taking it pretty hard, too. I'm one of 56. Sons of bitches broke up another demonstration tonight. We're looking at over 200 capable men making less than some bum peddling socks off 376.
We knew unions would get the short straw with Jameson taking over for a second term. You can't tell me you didn't see it coming, Kurt. Hard profession to make it out of alive, even if your heart is still beating. And the public doesn't care a damn. Unless a couple of you guys are lying dead in a mine somewhere, then they care. For about 2 weeks. You guys are a dying breed, Kurt, but a tough one. I can't knock you for that.
Seems like no matter how much we put in, we keep getting less and less from the guys up top.
Sure. Well, with the board of directors all over Jameson's back and adding another, what, $1.60 an hour? I don't know. Mining, the owners, the politicians, they really fouled it up.
Tell that to my guys. Most of them are third, fourth generation miners. Hell, it's all they know.
Believe me, Kurt, I don't like seeing this any more than you do. My advice, you get out while you still can. I would recommend the radio biz, but, well, you know how those things go. Thanks for the call, pal. You union boys will be all right. You give 'em hell. Jameson will back down, they always do. You just gotta make a show of it. Here's a commercial. This is Phil, your man of steel on KTLA.
One day and one day only, folks. Beat the summer heat and head on over to Garrity Motors, where service is always number one. That's right, we're slashing prices all over the lot on every car in the inventory. Still driving your daddy's old pickup? Well, out with the old and in with the new. We've got brand new 4-door 2011 Ford F-150s, driven off the lot for only $22,179. Come in and see us, folks, over at Garrity Motors, right on the corner of Charlotte and 21st Avenue. And don't forget to bring your kids, where our world-famous Ferris wheel is always free, and Petey the Snail will be taking pictures and signing autographs with the kids all day long. Not responsible for any trauma, injury, or death resulting from the Ferris wheel or Petey the Snail. State taxes and dealer fees apply.
And we're back, Pittsburgh. Winding things down for the evening, I would like to take a moment to re-extend my standing invitation to Mr. Jackson Marks, AM Tycoon. Love to have you stop by for a chat tomorrow night. Tomorrow is my last show, the last time my voice will reach out across these Pittsburgh and Midwestern airwaves. As you all know, Mr. Marks will be starting a new show right here next week, Marks After Dark, another chat show, and no better way to hear about that than straight from the horse's mouth. So, consider it a parting gift, Mr. Marks. Might be the biggest audience you'll ever reach. Now to close out the this penultimate night, I have a few thoughts, contributed, as always, from the ether. There's a history here you won't find anywhere else. To be born in Pittsburgh is to be born with a knowledge of what works and what doesn't. Steel has shaped this city and each and every one of us. You can see it in our faces. My dad worked down J&L Steel, Southside. My Uncle Jim worked down there too. Jim was a welder. Those guys were part of the greatest generation. The molten steel that poured out of J&L and U.S. Steel and Levinson and Mesta Machine and all the mills up and down the Mon Valley. That steel poured into ammunition and armor and tanks and bombs and into LSTs that were built right down the river at Dravosburg. That steel helped win the war in Europe and the Pacific. This city was great then. Dirty, but great. But our town hasn't changed all that much. Pittsburgh knows that whatever used to work will one day work again. We've survived some terrible storms, floods, and fires. We've lived through bad times and boom times. And every evening, curtains close, stores are shuttered, streetlights come on, and kids run home for supper. Night settles with a blanket of clouds over the city. I would love to see the night sky glow red once more. I would love to see the mills and plants fire up once more and make something. We need to make something. But for now, the eastern sky brightens, streetlights go off, and a new day begins. For KTLA, this is your man of steel, and I'll be looking for you when the sun goes down.
Lowell? Boss?
Wait for it to begin. And when I look at you, I ain't too proud to say I once loved a girl this way. I bring trouble on my lonesome self. I see danger in each offered help. Times are hard, the one that just won't come through. I'd be alone if not for you.
Put down the hat, put down the whip. Nobody wants to see your stomach. You bring back Marion, but what about short round? Who doesn't love short round?
KTLA, this is Robin.
I love short round. My mom loves short round. And everybody loves short round.
Ladies and gents, I got a story for you tonight.
Can I help you?
I need something for my nephew, whatever's hot these days. Birthday always catches me by surprise.
Well, that kind of depends on what type of console he's got.
What?
The console? Wii, PS3, Xbox?
Well, he's 12, if that helps. You know what? I think he's got the Xbox.
Gotcha. I think this will be good right here.
How much? $60.
We've got ads in 20, 19, 8.
$60 for a little plastic disc. Modern warfare, they call it. Every nausea-inducing headache, every flashback, all the blood and guts and mayhem and gore you could ever want, wrapped up in a pretty package, sent into every family's living room. Absolutely unbelievable, folks. How about the kid a two-wheeler instead? Live and learn. We'll be right back.
You don't seem surprised?
About what?
Lowell didn't show up today?
Yeah.
It's the last day, Phil.
Rats are the first to leave a sinking ship.
Well, I would have thought that Lowell would...
Oh, come on, honey. You know you're not qualified for such heavy lifting, sweetie pie. You gotta leave the thinking to the pros.
You have a special guest on the way, Man of Steel. Radio spots end in 60.
Oh, come on, Robin. Come on back, hon. Come on. We'll wrap it up. We'll get out of here early. I'll buy you a beer. Come on. Robin, hon. Sit down.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of year again. Time for the American Legion All-Star Game. One night only at Shipley Stadium. The dog days of summer are here early, so the drinks are on us for the first 2 innings. Get there early. Stay to watch tomorrow's Major League Baseball stars today. First 400 fans will receive genuine Bubby Brister bobblehead dolls.
Have a seat.
Where's she going?
Supplies last.
Where is everybody else?
Gave him the night off.
Oh.
And we're back, Pittsburgh. Hope you enjoyed those words from our sponsors. They really are the salt of the earth, our sponsors. Good for pouring into open wounds. Which brings me to my very special guest this evening. As you all know, this show will be leaving the airwaves soon, less than an hour as a matter of fact. And joining me here tonight, so catching me by surprise, is the man who's going to replace me. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you radio personality Jackson Marks.
Happy to be here, Phil. I've got to say, this is one of the more thrilling invitations I've been extended in a long while. Over the airwaves. Very clever.
Glad you liked it. Well, I got to go out with a few fireworks, figuratively speaking. Now, tell me, Jackson, a little bit about this show of yours.
Right, it's called Marks After Dark, and it's a lot like Marks in the Morning. A different co-host and I each week, we talk about what's going on in the world of pop culture, reality TV, celebrity scoops, music, you name it. We try to function as your one-stop source for all the pop culture news you need.
You really think we need another one of those?
Well, it's been specifically designed as a companion program for evening traffic coming to...
Marks After Dark starts right here next week, a syndicated program to replace our show. Seriously, I wish you all the best of luck in the future, Jackson. A little more about the show. I assume there will be guests?
Well, right, yeah. Next week, actually, we're going to have Claire Naveau on. And plenty of other guest co-hosts in the future that I can't really say anything about yet.
Well, I sort of set up a question-answer format for this evening, if that's all right.
Sounds fine to me.
Don't be afraid to speak into the mic, son. We are on the damn radio here. You got to speak into the mic.
Right. Is this better?
Question and answer. Some of these were sent in by our listeners. I want all you folks out there to know I reserve the right to allow this Q&A to devolve into straight-up conversation at any given moment.
Well, whatever's good for ratings, right, Phil?
Oh, I like your style. So, question numero uno. What was your first experience, your earliest experience with radio?
Well, I guess I would have to say it began with you.
I'm not looking for any brown nose in here, son.
No, seriously. My brother and I would stay with him on the weekends just outside Pittsburgh, and he had this old vacuum tube RCA that would pick you up calling the old Pittsburgh games with Marty.
No kidding.
Yeah.
For all of you out there with foggy memories, I used to call the old Pirate games back in what I like to refer to as the Tekulve years.
Tekulve was lights out back in '83. Yeah, they had Madlock, Garner, Dave Parker. Hell, we even had Blylevin. Of course, I was a little young to remember much.
Yeah, Parker's best years were behind him already by then. At least for us, they were. Blylevin, he should be in the hall. That's a shame, really. He's not a bad voice himself up there in the Twin Cities.
Yeah, I'm more of a football man now myself. I gave up on the Buccos after they traded Bay. Sort of a last straw.
Yeah, well, that figures, doesn't it?
The Man of Steel? You're not a football fan?
Bunch of arrogant jackasses given a free ride through college, and they grow up and throw dog fights and bully women and dance with the stars. Am I missing anything?
You're missing everything, actually. And the players aren't indicative of the sport. And if they were, baseball doesn't get off scot-free either. What about, say, steroids?
There is a poetry in baseball. There is no clock in baseball. Baseball is nostalgia. It's not all about home run records. Though it was a lot of fun watching Ralph Kiner knock him out of the park at Forbes Field back in the 40s and 50s, and you take a look at Willie Stargell, smacking him out of Three Rivers during the 70s, boy, Pops, that big looping swing of his, it was a work of art. Yeah, the Bucks, they're not doing so hot right now, but the poetry will always be there.
Well, what about Barry Sanders? Or watching Manning connect 40 yards downfield?
For me, my friend, football died when the Chief died and Myron Cope died. Period. The end.
I'm afraid we're just going to have to disagree on that one.
Which brings us to question number 2.
Oh, sure.
Last question, then?
Last question.
What is the history of radio?
What do you mean?
I want you to tell me the history of radio, beginning with the first wireless transmission over atmospheric frequencies right up to the modern day era.
You've got to be kidding, right?
No.
Like Marconi?
Marconi.
Well, didn't Marconi invent the...
Marconi stood on the shoulder of giants, and your answer should begin with the names of some of those giants.
Well, I am afraid Edison.
Edison did detect frequencies. Yes, close, but no cigar.
Okay. Well, I'm afraid I don't know exactly where to begin. I could tell you about DeForest, perhaps some of those early lawsuits.
Nah, don't get ahead of yourself. Nikola Tesla invented the technology used to create the first radio transmission.
I'm afraid you got me at a slight disadvantage, Phil, using notes and all. Where are we going now? Is this some sort of rite of passage thing? Because I feel that I have served my time.
Come on, now we're just trying to have a little fun. Tell me, what happens next?
Mr. Redman.
Call me Phil, please.
Phil, I'm not some kind of child taking your job away from you. You had to retire sometime, right?
Do you understand anything about what you do for a living? The history, the purpose of this medium? This isn't television, Mr. Marks. We don't spoon feed our listeners. We are their companions, their equals.
I got that, Phil.
Every night we come in here and with our microphones, transceivers, satellites, we manipulate the physics of our world. We put our broadcasts out there over the airwaves into people's car radios, their Walkman, their boom boxes.
Thank you for the recap. But what does all that really have to do with my job?
It has everything to do with your job. You have to respect this position, this responsibility you've been given. It isn't just a job. It's not an obligation and avocation. It's a privilege, Mr. Marks. It's an art.
Of course it's a privilege. And I'm grateful for this job. I couldn't be more grateful.
No, you're not. You're a disrespectful little snot. You're putting a lot of good, hard-working people out of business. You are grateful for nothing. You have been given everything. You have absolutely no sense of awe about it, no sense of wonder. You've replaced your wonder with cynicism, irony, arrogance, apathy. Popular culture, you tell me, what exactly does it give back? What does it question? What exactly does popular culture inspire?
Well, how about you, Phil? Working here by yourself. Why'd your intern leave when I got here?
I told you. I gave them the night off.
Right. How many people does it normally take to run this show? Where's your producer? You're manning the boards by yourself. Where's your staff? Where are the people that make a living off of this show? The people that this show supports. Did you give them all the day off too?
You don't know anything about it.
I have to support massive, major advertising. I have to draw in a massive audience with my show to pay the salaries of the people that work on it. So yes, I have to talk about certain topics which interest the largest possible audience. But you know what? I'm good at it. I'm damn good at my job. I make more than enough to provide for my family, and I take care of my staff and my crew.
The family man, Mr. Marks here. He knows how to build an audience. He knows how to provide for his brood.
I have a wife and a daughter. Don't tell me I don't know how to provide for my family. I put food on the table, and I take care of that kid.
What kind of example you setting for that kid? The trash you spew. AM radio is dead. You hear me? It is dead because of people like you. Pittsburgh, we are back right after these salt in the wounds.
So that's it. The end.
Yeah, that's it. Hope you didn't take any of that too personally. I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun here.
Right. You know that part about listening to the old Bucks games back when you were calling them?
Yeah.
I made it up.
Improvisation. That'll serve you well, kid. You will do all right. You'll do all right, kiddo. KTLA.
Phil Redman?
Speaking.
Wow, you really are there by yourself, huh?
Yeah.
Man, I thought I had a bad day.
I guess we both lost our job, huh, Kurt?
Yeah, but you're kind of an asshole, though. No disrespect or nothing.
None taken, soldier. For KTLA, this is Phil Redman, your man of steel. I'll be looking for you when the sun goes down.
Pittsburgh town is a smoky old town, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh town is a smoky old town, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh town is a smoky old town, solid iron from McKeesport down. Pittsburgh, Lord God, Pittsburgh. Well, what did Jones and Laughlin steal? Pittsburgh. Oh, what did Jones and Laughlin steal? Pittsburgh. What did Jones and Laughlin steal? Up and down the river just as far as you could see in Pittsburgh. Lord God, Pittsburgh. All I do is cough and choke in Pittsburgh. All I do is cough and choke in Pittsburgh. All I do is cough and choke from the iron filings and the sulfur smoke in Pittsburgh. Lord God, Pittsburgh. From the Allegheny to the Ohio in Pittsburgh. Allegheny to the Ohio. Allegheny to the Ohio. They're joining up in the CIO in Pittsburgh. Lord God, Pittsburgh.